Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about liking the real you. You know, it's hard to really show up authentically when you've been rejected so many times, when people have just not listened to you or not appreciated you, or maybe just didn't understand anything that you were saying to them. So when you finally meet someone who does all those things, it makes you wonder, do they really like the real you? Let's talk about it. Are you ready? Let's go. So I've spent many years hiding myself. And when I say hiding myself, I mean that I would not share how I felt about my experiences. I would not share how I felt about anything with another person. And that's because I've had so many experiences where when I did share how I felt, it was dismissed. It was not understood. I was told that, you just probably need to keep that to yourself in so many ways. And I did. And I thought, of course, I'm the problem. It's me, I'm the problem, because I continue to share how I feel and people don't like it. So naturally, and you may have done this too because you're smart, you want to figure it out. Especially if you're an introvert, you just keep that inside and you just think. You observe. What are other people doing? How are they showing up? What are they saying? What are they talking about? And you stop talking about those things that are real, true, and important and interesting to you because you know that they're going to get rejected. You know that you're not going to be understood. You know that people are going to look at you sideways. So you observe and you figure out what other people are talking about, what other people are saying to each other till you can fit in, because it seems like they have it figured out, right? And they have friend groups and they seem to laugh together and they seem to get along. So you watch, you observe. You're like, I'm going to mimic that. I'm going to be what they are. I'm going to talk about the things that they talk about because it's working for them. You don't want to be alone. I didn't want to be alone, so I did that. I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to connect with other people. I wanted to be a part of the group. I wanted to have that sitcom TV show kind of life where everybody laughs and jokes, and maybe if there's a conflict, they resolve it in 30 minutes. They'll resolve it. It's not a big deal. They have fast friends. I'm going to do that. And then I realized, and you may have realized too, that that doesn't work because there's a desire to express your authentic self. You're bored with the TV shows that they talk about. You're not really interested in sports. You're not really interested in celebrity gossip, and you don't really care about the politics that they keep bringing up. You don't really care to complain about things that aren't going right. You want to talk about what's real, true, and fun, and interesting, and exciting to you. So it sits there, and it waits, and it builds that desire to talk, that desire to connect with people. If you go through this whole process of holding back until maybe one day, a few years down the road, you start sharing with other people. You start sharing with the people that you call friends. And they say, what are you talking about? You've changed. What is this? Why are you, what? How? I didn't even know that you were interested in this stuff. It's weird. And it's just a rejection all over again. It's rejection and pain and frustration all over again. Probably feeling pretty awful, pretty confused, pretty lost, because you thought that maybe that after knowing them for so long that you could reveal your true self. And reveal your true self means sharing how you feel about some of your experiences, sharing how you feel about your experiences, your joys, your sadness, your anger, your fear, sharing that with other people and having them accept it, having them be curious about it, having them want to know more about who you are. And it didn't work after years. Just imagine yourself going through this pattern. If you don't have to imagine, if it was real to you, then It's real to you, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you finally meet people who want to talk about the things that are interesting to you, you finally start opening up. Maybe you decide, look, I'm not going to make any more of these fake friendships. I'm going to be me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk about philosophy because I love it. I'm going to go out there and talk about physics because I love it. I'm going to go out there and be my awkward self that most people don't understand because that's who I am. When you go out there and you do that and you meet that other person who is just as interested in philosophy, physics, and as awkward as you are, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa. Wait. Hey, is this real? Is this true? Huh? Who are you? You're waiting for me to say the wrong thing. You're waiting. You don't really know me enough to like me. Maybe you know a few things about me, but you don't know enough to like me. So I don't know if I want to continue this conversation or continue this relationship, or maybe I'm just going to close it up right here and I'm only going to talk about these few things. I'm only going to show you these parts of me. I don't blame you for doing that. Don't blame me for doing that. I've done it. But here's the thing. When you do that, you limit the self. You limit your relationship with them. You limit yourself because you stop growing. You stop learning. Because once you start, expressing your joyful things, and once you start exploring more about life, you feel more comfortable with yourself. As you age, you're going to have more life experiences that you're going to want to share with another person. And you have this really nice connection over physics and philosophy and maybe a bit of the awkwardness that you maybe were made fun of before. And you can talk about those experiences. You can laugh about them with this new person, but you're still going to have more experiences in the future that you're going to want to share with this person. And if you shut down, you close up, you don't talk about the new experiences that you have, your relationship is going to be stagnant. Yourself is going to be stagnant because you don't get to share with another person that can give you feedback, that can give you insight, that can help you grow faster. You're just going to be alone again in this relationship. That's where you stop sharing how you feel. That's where you turn that authenticity off. I want to encourage you not to do that. You'll damage this connection that you have. You won't let it flourish and let it grow. You might even find yourself not allowing them to talk about new experiences that they've had. Do you want to be careful about doing that? So why do we believe that that person is going to hurt us? Well, because you've had so many past experiences. You can point to them all. Everybody leaves. Everybody makes fun of you eventually. If you open up and you show a little more of yourself, then the relationship will be destroyed. Well, listen, I want to tell you that you have to take that step. You have to be brave. You have to give them an opportunity to show you if they can hold space for you. Because already, if you made this connection on these things that are important and interesting and exciting to you, if you made that connection already, there's a very, very, very good chance that they want to hear more. They want to hear more. They want to know. You have to trust that they do want that. Don't wait for them to pry for the information. Don't wait for them to go digging for the information. You need to be brave about this, and you need to be willing to share. You need to be willing to open up. Now, I know you might be a little afraid. You might be a little afraid to do this. What if it ruins the relationship? What if it destroys it? What if they laugh at you? Don't worry. It's not going to, quote, ruin the relationship. It won't ruin the relationship. It's going to deepen the relationship. It's going to give you more clarity about what kind of relationship you're in so that you're not confused. You might be talking to someone who is an associate. So I talk about those 5 levels of friendship, or 5 levels of connection. I talk about there being a stranger first, then being an associate, then being an acquaintance, then being a friend, and then being a close connection. So you might be talking to someone who you want to be a friend, and you think about, creating this relationship where you're able to talk about anything and everything, but they may not be able to handle that. The only thing that you're going to discover when you open up a little more is whether or not they're going to be able to handle that. You're going to get rid of the insecurity of or discovering, or the fear of discovering, or the unknown piece, and you're going to know. And that's going to free you up to put this relationship where it needs to be. So if they can't be a friend to you and talk about something other than physics, philosophy, and a little bit of awkwardness that you had, then they're not your friend, according to my five levels of friendship. They're not your friend. They can't talk about the relationship issues that you have. They can't handle your anger. They can't handle your sadness or your fear. They're an associate, and it's best for you to know that. Because when it comes down to it, when you continue on going out through life, and you have these life experiences where you have big events that happen, like big events, like somebody passes away in your family, you get married, you buy a house, you change careers, you have big events, things that you want to celebrate, things that you really need support for, and you look at them as a person who was supposed to be your friend for support. They can't handle it. That's not the time to discover that. That's not the time to discover it, because you really need support, and you put all your eggs in the basket looking at this person who is an associate to be a friend to you, to be a close connection to you, and they just can't handle it. Then you're going to find even more pain and frustration because you have the event to deal with itself, and then you'll have to discover that the person that you connected to, you thought was a friend who could support you, cannot support you. So you want to find that out sooner rather than later. So you want to know if they're interested in the real you as much as you can, as soon as possible. After you built this rapport, you've connected on these few things, open up a little more to see whether or not they're able to hold space for you. So many people have reached out to me and said, I wish that you had a community, Coach Lee, because I would join instantly. Well, I have one now. It is called the Trust and Thrive Tribe. It's a collective for those who not only want to meet new people, but make deep, lasting relationships. You are going to be empowered and learn directly from me as well. Here's a high-level overview of what you're going to get. Weekly Q&A sessions. You bring your challenges, and I will give you practical solutions for your challenges. Twice a month, we'll have hot seat coaching. That means you can bring your specific challenges, and I will focus on you specifically for the entire duration of the call. And of course, you're going to have a community of like-minded individuals who are interested in making those deep, long-lasting connections. We'll also be running challenges with prizes like winning one-on-one coaching sessions and other ways to work with me. So if you want to make meaningful relationships, you always wanted to work with me, but you weren't sure how, this is your opportunity. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/trust-and-thrive. That's again, patternsofpossibility.com/trust-and-thrive for more information. Now it's time for your listener letters. If you'd like me to give you actionable steps to create more meaningful relationships with something that's happening with you in your life, you can write me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com, and I might read it here on the show. If I want to stay friends with someone who's rather more toxic than not, how do I do so? Now, before you say walk away, I already made up my mind, and I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is stay on the path where I can help them, not baby feed them, but walk them through a better path. I've done that for a lot of people around me, and overall, my life's pretty all right. With or without some people, true. But I wouldn't consider anyone I've encountered a mere burden on me or anyone else around me. But what else can I do? Besides suggesting therapy for them and continuing to call them out no matter how many times they make the same mistakes. What can I do? All right, that was short, right? If you're reacting to this and you're thinking, oh, why the flip would he want to, or they want to? I don't know the gender of this person. Why would they want to change another person? That was my first sense. I was like, no, this is dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. What is going on? There's so many things that are happening inside of my head about this. And I think about how this person, as I've said before, about toxic dynamics, toxic relationships. It takes two people, and the toxicity about the relationship is that each wants the other person to change. Each wants the other person to change, but they don't want to change themselves. So in this relationship, we got this guy who is a hero, and I keep saying guy. It must be a girl, must be a they, them, must be somebody. But listen, it is a person, a human, who sees a toxic friend, and a toxic means to me that there are behaviors that they want to change in this person. They want them to be different somehow. And so they've decided that they're going to fix them, quote unquote, fix them. That's not what they said there, but that is what they want to do, is change their behaviors. And I don't know about you, but I know certainly with me, when people come to me and they say, you need to change, you need to fix yourself, I'm going to tell them to just go up, get away from me. I like who I am. I like how I show up. And you coming here telling me that I need to be somebody different or need to behave differently, it's frustrating to me, especially if I believe you're a friend. See, I don't mind hearing feedback. Actually, I like to hear feedback. I like to understand more about me and how I'm impacting people around. But when people come to me and they make it as if I don't have a choice in the behavior. So if I do something that is upsetting and that's hurtful to you, okay, bring that to me. And I have an understanding of how you feel about it, and then I get to make the choice. We work together. We talk about what can I do differently, but it is my choice. This person here is saying, I'm going to call them out whenever they mess up. Whenever they do something, I'm going to call them out. I'm going to suggest that they go to therapy. I'm going to fix them. I'm going to dedicate my time and my energy to fix them. I'm just not going to let go. Now, they didn't give any backstory or detail about why in particular, but I just don't like the idea of imposing your beliefs and ideas upon another person. One, because it's exhausting for you, and two, because you're going to get lots of resistance. It just doesn't work. I have to buy in. If you're talking to me and telling me that I did something and upset you, I get to buy into changing my behavior. I'm not told to. You can't. I've never been successful telling somebody to change their behavior, and I don't think that this person will be successful either. And if you go out there and you try to do that too, you won't be successful in it. So they're telling their friend, their toxic friend, you need to change, you need to do something, you need to be different. And their toxic friend is going to resist. They're going to fight them all the way. I just know this is going to happen all the way. They're going to fight and fight and fight. I just don't think that this friend who is trying to help, who believes that maybe they're trying to help, trying to fix their friend, really likes their friend. They're not interested in the real person. They're not interested in understanding their quote unquote toxic behaviors or traits and understanding why they do them. They do the best they can with what they have. Just imagine you're out there and you are considered a toxic person, or you are doing things that other people don't like, and they come to you and they tell you need to fix yourself. You need to change. You need to not sing the way you do. You need to not talk the way you do. Don't make the kind of jokes that you make. But, that's how you were raised. And that's what you understand about the world. And no one has come to you and understood why you do what you do. No one's this person doesn't seem like they're trying to understand why the toxic person does what they do, where they get those beliefs and ideas, how does it keep them safe. Perhaps they had lots of trauma and experiences like that, and they're just full on, I'm going to fix you. You're broken, I'm going to fix you. But those experiences that the toxic person has had has shaped their reality and has shaped their life, and they're doing the best they can with what they have. They're doing the best they can. So this friend who wants to fix doesn't really care or know this person, doesn't know who they are right now, just wants to see a, quote, better version of them. I think it's really disgusting. Personally, for me, it makes my stomach turn because I want people to feel heard, understood, appreciated, and accepted. I want to meet them where they are and not tell them that they need to come up. They need to be different. They need to do something different, because that just was an experience that I've had my entire life. And I was like, well, what am I, this is really personal. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And I don't want to change for you. Well, maybe I like this. And they feel shame, guilt, and embarrassment, and they feel all hurt and unaccepted because of things that they are doing, quote, wrong, or being, quote, toxic. And it's a safety mechanism. We don't really know what traumas or experiences that toxic person has had to create those kind of attitudes. So, with this said, I'm going to say that for you, person who is trying to fix, what I'd suggest that you do is not tell them that they need to change, but spend some time looking at yourself to stop reacting to the, quote, toxic things that your friend does, and spend time accepting them, understanding them. And then when you understand them, possibly showing them a different direction or alternative if they're open to it. But that is the way to create that real meaningful connection. And that's the way to really make change. And I'm sure that if you do this, you will have a better relationship with them overall. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, share with someone who you think could benefit from this information, and follow me on social media. You can find me at Patterns of Possibility on all social media. And I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch me and learn more about these social connections and interact with other people who are looking for the meaningful connections, who share the same kind of stories, and be in community. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at patternsofpossibility.com, where you will get actionable steps delivered to your mailbox every week. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care.